Okay, now that we have our HTML situated, so everything's in there, our images, our text, we have everything linked up. Let's go ahead and start with some CSS, and we'll start by actually just using our page properties. Okay, we can make our first kind of, biggest strokes with the brush there. All right, so let's go to page properties, and let's get into our page font. Let's get rid of that default font. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with, I don't know. So for the page, I'll go with, well, I like Helvetic. I like sans serif font. So I'll go with that. And size, let's go with, because there's not a lot on the page, let's maybe make it a little bit bolder. Let's see how that looks. I'm going to go with large. Text color, I'll go with like a light dark, darker gray. And actually here, this is where I want to change something. So when we look at this, we're picking from hexadecimal, which is this number set here. I want to change that to RGBA. And I'll talk about color more at the end of this module, so before you start your homework. But this is a number set that we want to get used to, and that's just clicking the RGBA. Okay, so it gives us the three, the red, green, and blue, and then it gives us this fourth channel, the A, which is the alpha channel. And I'll talk about why that's important later. Let's set that to that now. Background color. I don't know, the Beach Boys. Let's go with something, I don't know, maybe watery. I'll pick like a pale. This is probably going to look not so good. Yours maybe will look better. I'll pick like a blue. Is that good? I don't know. I'll go with it though. And then again, let's give our margins. So a left margin is going to move it over from there. I'm going to talk more about margins in a minute. So left margin, let's go, same as last time, 200 pixels. Top margin, 150. And let's do our links. Link font. I'll pick something maybe a little bit more fun. And we're going to switch these up later, but just for now, let's use this serif font for our links. And size, well, we did large for that. Let's go medium. It's just 2. Be a little bit bigger. Link color, black. Just make it black. You guys can pick whatever you want. Visit it, black, rollover. Maybe it turns to, I don't know, and it's blue. I'll pick like a weird yellow. It's probably gonna look horrible, but I'm just going along. Active black. So we did all 4 states. That's really crucial. Always underline, never. Hit OK. Oop, was I done? Yeah, I guess I was done for now. Okay, that's getting there. Now, just to keep things simple, let's go ahead and move that whole style tag over to page 2 so it's the same. So I grab the whole thing, and that's going to go right in the head tag. And we're going to get into some more CSS right now. Okay, just so they're like super similar. And the background color is a little much, but it's okay for now. Okay, so let's just save this, save all, and have a look at it in the web. Okay, so there's a couple of yucky things right away that we want to get rid of. Okay, first off, everything is the same spacing. Okay, so the margin is around here. We can see the margin in action right here. Okay, so that moved the body straight over, but each individual box has its own margin. So the browser sees like the H1, this is the H1, as a box, okay? And we want to get rid of that, or we want to space those boxes out more, okay? Here, text is going all the way across the page. That looks gross, okay? It's hard to read. And that's the major things we're going to attack. Ooh, that yellow is impossible to read. So you want to get rid of that too. Legibility, not happening there. Bad choice on me. Let's look at this page. Okay. It's better than it was before, but it's meh. It's not good. All right, so let's go back and go to Dreamweaver. And you know what? Let's change that rollover color because that was ugly. That's the hover right here. So right here where it says color, I'm just gonna delete that back. And this will let us choose color right from here. So I delete it right to the double dots there. I'm gonna put them in again, and it's gonna say, oh, color picker? Okay. So let's make it roll over. It goes from black to what looks good on, maybe we should just change that blue. I don't know. Maybe it just gets like a lighter gray. That's probably okay. Okay, and you'd have to change that on the next page too, so it's similar. So I'm just going to grab those number sets, go back, and there we go. And now actually the background color, which is in here in body, let's see if we can do something about that. So we'll play with the alpha channel right here. It has a 1. So that deals with opacity. So we can make it lighter. Maybe just lighter would be better. So I'm going to go to 0.5. Oops, I'm on the wrong spot. Sorry, leave that at 1. I was dealing with the font. Background color for body. I saw my font choices get lighter already. That looks a little bit better. A little more separation. Okay, not super ugly. Changes to gray. That looks better. Okay. Let's do that on this page. Body, background color, in the alpha channel, 0.5. Okay, so let's give a little bit more spacing. Okay, and let's try to be like maybe a little bit bolder with the H1. Okay, so when we're doing CSS, we target it just by selecting the H1. Okay, so I'm going to go in here, and after this body tag here, I'm just going to space down, and I'm going to deal with my H1, my paragraphs, and my horizontal rules. So I'm going to start writing H1. I'm going to find my squiggle, and it gives me a bunch of choices. So I just want to separate it more from the rest. So I'm going to go to margin. I'm going to start typing margin. And you can see right there, it gives us a bunch of choices. Margin, margin bottom, left, right, top. Okay? So I actually just want to push it apart from the rest. So I'm going to give it a bottom margin of, say, 25 pixels. So it's kind of like standing apart a little bit more. So 25 pixels and then semicolon. Now it didn't move that much. So I'm going to say 100. That's maybe too much. So let's go with 50. okay? Just so it breaks up the evenness of all of those things, okay? Being kind of like the same spacing throughout. All right, and let's try that again with our paragraphs. Let's separate them a little bit more. So P, and I'm going to go margin, actually this time top, because I want them to separate a little bit more from the image and a little bit more from their heading. But here this is a little bit different, but I think margin top should do fine. So I'm going to say 50 pixels again. And then actually to have them, let me just space this down, to have them separate a little bit more from everything else, I'm going to give them a width. Okay, so width will be your new best friend. Width, and I want them to kind of even up. I don't want them to go all the way across the page. I want them to even up with the image. So the image, you can see right here with this measurement, 2 to 7, that's the image is like 500 pixels. So let's make the paragraph 500 pixels. Okay, and then it's got this weird kind of breaking, and that actually seems a little bit small. So let's make it actually 600 pixels. That looks a little bit better. And I can go text align, and I'll make it, let's say justify. See how that looks. That might look pretty good. Okay. So we just made a bunch of changes. And let's see, let's save that and preview it in the web. Get this out of the way. Okay, that looks pretty good. Not too bad. All right, so we're just making some small changes. All right, the other thing that's bothering me is this double line going all the way across. That looks like yuck, okay? So let's change that. And also, why don't we have this list of names go across? Okay, that would be cool. All right, let's do that.